couple of years ago, I was giving a shiur on the idea of tefillah, a house in the valley in California. And after the shiur, a woman comes over to me and says, I would like to share with you the following story. And please, the next time you speak on tefillah, use it. I said, I'll definitely listen. And she tells me that she was married for many years and she wasn't able to have a child. Baruch Hashem, they're very wealthy. They went to all different doctors. They went to many different rabbanim. They were just not able to have a child. There was a gzera. There was something blocking them. One day she finds herself in Pico Robertson area, the other side of Los Angeles. And she happens to meet a rabbi. And while she's there, she said, Rabbi, give me a blessing. The rabbi says, listen, let me tell you something that will be more powerful than a blessing. I want you to pray. But I don't want you to pray for yourself. I want you to go back to your shul. I want you to find someone else in your shul who does not have children. And for the next 6 months, I don't want you to pray for yourself at all. Only that couple. And then come back to me. She says, okay, Rabbi. She goes back to her shul and she finds someone who is married for 7 years who doesn't have a child. She gets her name and she starts to daven. Instead of davening for herself, every shachris, mincha, wherever she has a chance, she is praying for this couple. A few months later, she walks in shul Shabbos morning and she sees there's her friend. And Baruch Hashem, she can tell she's expecting. She was all excited. She goes back to the rabbi. She says, it worked. He says, okay, great. Now go find someone else. Another couple in the shul who doesn't have a child. So she tells me she goes back to shul. She finds another couple. This couple is married for 9 years with no children. She gets the name and she starts to daven. Every single day, day in and day out. Well, after 5 months, she comes to shul Shabbos morning. And there, sitting next to her, is this woman who she's davening for. And guess what? She's expecting a child. She now goes back to the rabbi and says, okay, it's working. He says, listen, you're not done yet. Go find one more couple. She goes back to shul. She finds a couple who was married for 5 years and didn't have a child. And she gets her name and she davens and davens and davens. And once again, she's walking to the supermarket a few months later and she sees that she's pregnant. This time she goes back to the rabbi and says, okay, now it's my turn. The Rav looks at her and says, you see that your tefillah works? You see that your prayer works? Now, I want you to daven to Hashem like you never davened before. I want you to wake up in the morning and ask Him for a child. I want you to walk into your car and ask Him for a child. Before you go to sleep, you ask Him for a child. When you go to work, throughout the day, you just keep on asking because He's your Father and He wants to give you what you need and what you want. Just keep on asking. And that's what she did. Every single day, she wakes up. She says, Hashem, please, I want a child. Please, please, please. The entire day, that's what she did. And she tells me, after 6 months, after 14 years of waiting, she was zocha to have a child. She said, I just had to believe in it. This rabbi knew that I stopped believing in my tefillah, and he wanted me to daven for someone else. And when I saw that my tefillah worked, I now believed I can go ahead and break through the heavens.